Hello and welcome to the Marble Racing League livestream. We're here today for round 2 of season 6 of the Marble Racing League Championship here at Las Vegas. And it is a sprint weekend, the first sprint weekend of the season. It will be a 9-lap sprint race and a 25-lap feature race. And we're going to start off right now with a one-shot qualifying for the sprint. On board now with Simple heading down towards turn 1. Nice view there. Now to turn 3 and 4. And now onto the second DRS zone of the circuit. Quite heavy braking zone into turn 5. Good exit there. And now into turn 6. Heading towards probably one of the trickiest braking zones of the circuit. Nicely done through there. I think that's turn 9, yes that is turn 9, coming out of there, and now we're heading very close. It's probably around the halfway point of the track, heading towards Las Vegas Strip. This is where Lando Norris crashed last year, and now onto the Las Vegas Strip. He'll open DRS. The final DRS zone of this Las Vegas track. So now heading towards turn 14, gets nicely turned in there, and not too wide in the exit, so this could be a really good lap for Simple. Let's go on board with some of the other drivers. Aha, so Andrew set the quickest time in the Williams. Yeah, so Andrew came second in the previous round. It was a Williams 1-2. His teammate is not here, so last weekend's race winner, Sebastian, is not racing today. So this would be a great opportunity for Andrew to get ahead of him in the standings. So the one-shot qualifying for the sprint is over. And now on board is Sora JP, who's qualified 10th in the Visa RB. So there are the results. So that's Andrew, who's at a time 4 tenths quicker than Palang, and then Enzo, Vilstavilla, Daryl, Race Chase, Ultima, Mr. Puro, Diego, Skid Solar, and Sora JP rounding up the top 10. Simple Ibo just outside the top 10 for the sprint. RK44 and Quincy not setting a time for Alpine and Red Bull. So next up is the 9-lap sprint race. There'll be a few minutes for, actually not that long, for drivers to select their fuel loads for this sprint race. So there'll be 14 drivers taken to the start. There are 17 drivers in this league at the moment in total, so 3 are missing out this round. For those who missed the previous round, it was Williams and Red Bull who got the largest point hauls from the first round in Texas compared to the other teams, with Williams getting a 1-2 and Red Bull getting a 3rd and 5th place. You've probably got 1 minute until the sprint race starts. Okay, so we're going to get underway now for the formation lap. So we see the Williams of Andrew getting in the way, starting off the formation lap with Palang in the Mercedes right behind him. So Mercedes having a really good qualifying there. Both their drivers inside the top 4. Decent qualifying for Aston Martin and Ferrari as well, so they've got both their drivers inside the top 8. And then we have the McLaren of Skid Solo and Sora JP in the RB, wrapping up the top 10. Simple, Ibo, RK44 and Quincy just starting outside the top 10 in 11th, 12th, 13th and 14th position. Okay. Okay, so back into the one-shot qualifying for the real race. Gonna go on board with Simple again, heading down to the Las Vegas Strip. So Palang has retired from the session. Now, okay. And then some board of Skid Solar now. Heading down towards the finish line. Okay, so that's it with the one-shot qualifying. It's Andrew who's on pole. Daryl and Race Chase. And that's Race Chase in third. Will Tarvilla, Ultimate Mr. Puro, Diego Skidsolis, Quincy, Simple, and Ibo wrapping up the top 10. And then we have Sora JP, RQ44, Palang, and Enzo in 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th position. Okay, so we're going to wait a few minutes for the driver to select their setups and fuel loads and strategies for the 25 lap race here around the Las Vegas circuits. So it'll be Andrew on pole and Daryl in the Aston Martin alongside him on the front row. Race Chase in the Red Bull will be alongside Rolf Taravillo in the Mercedes on row 2. Ultima Mr. Puro in the other Aston Martin, good qualifying for him, alongside the Ferrari of Diego. And on row 4 we have Skidso and the McLaren alongside Quincy in the Red Bull. Simple in the Haas will be alongside Ibo in the other McLaren on row 5. And out of the top 10 start for this race we'll have Sora JP for RB alongside RK54 for Alpine. And on the final row of the grid, we'll have Palang the Mercedes alongside Enzo in the Ferrari. You've got the score off, I think, qualifying. Don't know why, but. So for those who missed the first round, it was Sebastian who won in Texas, and his teammate Andrew finished in second. So Williams 1-2 there. Red Bull finished third and fifth. So it was really good points hauls for both those teams for the constructor standings. Let's see how that plays out today. And then for the calendar, it's a 19 race calendar, and there are I think there are 6 sprint races, including the one today. Next week we'll be in so it'll be China, Japan, Hungary, Britain, Great Britain, and the Netherlands. Those will be the next 5 races. Japan, which is in 2 weeks' time, will also be a sprint race weekend. should be going in a few minutes' time. Sprint race was very eventful, lots of collisions and incidents, which promoted some drivers who started towards the back of the field in the sprint race up and towards the points paying positions. And we should be getting the formation lap for this race, this 25 lap race, on the way shortly. Okay, so formation lap starting. Now we see Andrew, who finished second in the last round, getting the formation lap underway, leading the pack. So he finished second. His teammate finished ahead of him in first, so he is 7 points ahead of him in the standings. Sebastian is not racing this weekend, so this is a great opportunity for him to get to the front of the driver standings. However, Race Chase is not far behind, and could also get ahead of Sebastian in the standings after this round. Daryl, who finished fourth in Texas, is starting on the front row and is likely to get good point haul again, but anything can happen in the Marvel Racing League, so we'll see what happens. Mercedes did not have a good race in Texas, but they do have Real Star Villa starting in fourth for this round. They had a good qualifying for the sprint, but a slightly worse qualifying for this feature race. But I think the top 13 score in the feature race in the Marlboro Racing League, so it'll be quite easy for any driver to get some points in the feature race today. There we see Andrew there, heading onto the Las Vegas Strip, one of the longest straights on the F1 calendar. So we've got Darrow starting alongside him in second. Race Chase and Real Star Villa starting on row 2, the Red Bull and the Mercedes. Darrell's teammate, Ultimate Mr. Puro, starting in 5th place. Good qualifying for him. He struggled in qualifying in Season 5, but he's managed to make his way up to high positions for Season 6 so far. Helping Aston Martin getting some very good points hauls, and then we have Diego starting alongside on row 3. Kid Solo and Quincy and the McLaren and the Red Bull on row 4. Simple had an incident towards the end of the sprint race and will be starting in 9th, ahead of Ibo. Sora JP didn't have a great qualifying for the sprint, and not a good qualifying for this race either, and will be starting just outside the top 10 alongside RK44 in the Alpine. And then we have Palang and Enzo starting 13th and 14th on the final row of the grids for this 25 lap feature race in Las Vegas. So majority of the cars getting to their good position now. Final car in good position, and we're gonna get some racing action right now. Lap 1 of 25. It's about to get underway. And we're underway now, and it's a very good start for Andrew. He's got a better start than Daryl, heading into turn 1. Not a great start by Real Star Villa. He's nearly lost a place to Aston Martin, but he shoved the Aston Martin out wide, and he maintains that 4th place. Some battling further back in the midfield between the McLarens and Red Bulls. Sinful's getting involved in the action too, alongside Palang, who's had a good start. He's made up 3 places there. Sinful going to try and go up the inside on the McLaren there. Doesn't quite be. Gets ahead of the Mercedes of Palang. Yellow flags momentarily, and that's because we have a Ferrari off and the McLaren. So we have the McLaren who's lost the front wing, and Diego, who had quite a messy sprint race, has done a messy start to this race as well. Now heading out of turn 9, there we see the Aston Martin of Ultima Stapuro leading this train of cars from about 5th to 10th place. Some side-by-side action between the Mercedes and the McLaren there. Down the inside goes Palang up the inside of the skid solo. Palang started 13th and has gained 7 places. He's made his way past over half the field, so it's a very good start by him. There's been a change for the lead, I've missed that. Can Andrew get back past Darrell as we head down into this heavy braking zone when we saw Charles Leclerc get past Sergio Perez on the final lap of the inaugural race in Las Vegas in 2023. Sinful has lost places. He's probably had a moment down into 10-15, that might be. Yeah, so Sinful's got back going, but he's down into 12th place. The driver's behind him. Okay, so Sinful's also lost his front right end plate, which is not ideal for him. The driver behind, same situation for him. He's going to have to come to the pits as well. Oh, he stays out. Interesting. So he's probably relying on the safety car. Darrell still has the lead, but not by much at all. He's going to be... that's going to make him a little bit vulnerable down the Las Vegas Strip. He's got 4 cars who'll be within DRS range shortly. Not sure if he gets enabled this lap or the lap after. Now heading out of turn 9. Turn 10 and 11 are flat outs. And now to turn 12. Very easy to cause an incident if you go down the inside of another car there. Okay, so now there is a bit of a gap between Darrell and Andrew. Interesting. So I don't think he's going to gain enough to get past him this lap. But Race Chase could go for a move down the inside, as could Real Taravilla and the Mercedes. Really good start for the Mercedes. They were outside the top 13 last time in Texas, but they got both cars inside the top 5 this time, and they're on for a very good points haul if things stays the same. Bit of a wide moment there for Enzo, who started 14th but has made his way up to 8th. So also very good. So a very good start by both of the drivers starting on the final row of the grid. Here's Quincy right behind him in the Red Bull. And then we've got the Alpine. So we've got Sora JP and RQ54. They started 11th and 12th, and they're still very close to each other heading on to lap 3. It'll be Sora JP in the RB with the DRS heading towards turn 5. Lock up ahead, that's probably from the Red Bull or the Ferrari ahead. Bit of a wide moment there by Skid Solo in the McLaren. Skid Solo managed to get, I think, within to 9th place in Texas, and is on for a very good points haul this round, contributing to McLaren's tally in the team standings. The gap is still around the second between Darrell and Andrew. That will close down the straight due to the slipstream, but that could expand as we head onto lap 4. So it's a side-by-side action between the Ferrari and the Aston Martin. Sorry, yes. And there's been a change for 3rd place. Yes, so that's Real Taravilla in the Mercedes up into 3rd place ahead of Race Chase in the Red Bull. Let's see if Palang, his teammate, can close that 4.4 second gap down to the Red Bull. Three-way battle here between 7th and 9th place. Very wide moment there for Enzo, nearly clipping the wall there. But he's going to brake late and go round the outside of the Aston Martin heading into turn 1 and 2. Let's see if Quincy, who will have DRS heading out of turn 4, Let's see if he can maybe make a move on the Aston Martin down into turn 5. Gonna go for a move down the inside possibly? No, he backs out of it. So you might need to wait until the Las Vegas strip or onto lap 5. Okay, so interestingly the gaps have closed and they're very close. The top 4 are all in the same picture. That was not the case the previous lap, but something has happened to close this pack up. And we could get a change for the lead here as we head into turn 12 and down onto the Las Vegas strip. Darrell momentarily with the lead. He's had the lead since lap 1, the end of lap 1. And Andrew might be able to get it back. He's very close to him. DRS open very shortly. Now it's open. But he's actually more under pressure from Real Taravilla and the Mercedes. Can Real Taravilla get past both of them? Darrell says no. He shuts the door on the inside. And he maintains the lead. And Real Taravilla maintains his position as well. It was looking for a second that he would get past both of them, but he stays in 3rd place. Race Chase just looking at all the action unfolding between the 3 drivers ahead of him, looking to take advantage of any incident happening ahead of him. He's in 4th place in the Red Bull. Palang is quickly closing that gap between the top 4 there. It was 4.4 seconds, it's now 3.6. And then we have Skid Solo in the McLaren defending against Enzo in the Ferrari, who started last but is making really good ground and is about to get into the top 6. He's going to take the outside line. And successfully gets past the McLaren, who locks up. Nearly ends up in the barrier there, and is going to be under serious pressure from the Aston Martin of Ultimate Mr. Puro. Heading into turn 7. Tricky braking zone there, but they most managed to hit the apex there. Yes, let's see the position changes. So yeah, Enzo and Palang, who both started on the back row of the grid, have both gained 8 places and are now in 5th and 6th place. Mercedes on track to get a really good result here. I think they got 0 points out last time out in Texas. They probably scored a few points in the sprint race, and they got up for a really big point haul here. Very close there between the Aston Martin of Ultimo Stapura and Skid Solo. But it is Skid Solo who maintains that 7th place ahead of Ultimo Mr. Puro in 8th. Still very, very close battle for the lead here. Andrew nearly going for a move there into turn 1. There was a yellow flag out, and I wonder if that is for Ibo. He is caused the yellow flag at turn 12. He's down in 14th place, 7 seconds behind Simple. I think both those drivers have pitted. Ibo hasn't pitted, but Simple has. Let's go on to tyre compounds. Okay. Yeah, so a bit of contact there between the Williams and the Mercedes there, but Real Taravilla has managed to find a way through up into 2nd place. Let's see if Andrew can respond to that, or let's see if Real Taravilla can move himself to the very front by the end of lap 6. Still got a very long way to go into in this race. There'll probably be 1 pit stop, assuming that there's not going to be any safety cars. Although this is a street track, and it's very easy to find yourself in the barrier here. Ferrari going very wide there. Has he escaped the barrier? Oh no, that was the wrong Ferrari that pointed that. Oh, what has happened behind? Possible front wing damage there. Yes, that is a front wing end plate off for the Red Bull of Quincy. And for the Alpine, so maybe contact between the two. Not entirely sure what happens there. And whilst that happened, so Real Taravilla has got back to the front, but Darrell is so close behind him, he could be going for a move down to turn 1. No, they're going to go alongside each other now. He's going to try and go for a move down the inside, not quite enough. Heading to turn 1, so it's Real Taravilla with the lead at the moment. This has kind of turned into 2 separate battles, so this 4-way battle is split. And Palang is closing up on Race Chase as well. And then we've got Darrell, who's going to try and go down the inside here, possibly. No, he's going to wait for the 3rd DRS zone in the circuit. The top 5, all to the left of the screen there. Now heading towards turn 6, do any of the drivers lock up? Yes, the Aston Martin does, and that could compromise him down into turn 9. Oh no! Andrew tried to take evasive action and has hit the barrier as a result. Finished second place last time in Texas, but it's going to have a DNF for Williams, and there's going to be no points for Williams, unfortunately, this round. It was a 1-2 for them last time out in Texas, and it's a massive change in fortune for the team who are comfortably leading the team standings heading into this round. This is a very good opportunity for Red Bull, who are second in the team standings, to catch up. They're currently in 4th and 9th place. They're on for a decent point haul, but Mercedes are currently the favourites to get the biggest point haul from this round. So for those who've just joined, lap 7 of 25 of this feature race around Las Vegas, in this first sprint weekend of season 6 of the MBRL Racing League, we have a safety car after our second place in the championship. Andrew had a crash coming out of turn 8, sorry. Yeah, got a bit too wide and hit the barrier as a result. Lots of drivers pitting. However, it looks like Sora JP in the RB is going to be staying out. Yeah, so he stayed out. Interesting strategy by the Visa RB driver there. There we see the Ferrari, the 91 car of Enzo, pitting for a fresh set of medium tyres. And then we see RK44 in the Alpine on a fresh set of soft tyres. We've not seen the soft tyres so far in this feature race so far, so let's see how that strategy plays out. Unique strategy, no other driver has gone for that strategy. And now it's Solo in the lead, as all the top 5 have pitted for a new set of tyres. Skid Solo is still out on 7-lap old medium tyres, so he stayed out. He's not made his mandatory pit stop yet. Everyone else, apart from Sora JP on some old hards in the RB. Yeah, so Skid Solo and Sora JP are the only drivers yet to pit. Sorry, Simple. No, he's actually pitted. He pitted on lap 1 due to damage. So yeah, he's in the Haas. His teammate Voduka is not racing today. He might have scored points last time out in Texas, I'm not sure. Yeah, so majority of the field have caught up to the safety car, but it will definitely be out for at least another lap. Possibly one more after that. Safety car probably likely to come in at the end of lap 9. It's been a lap since the accident happened. And we've got a new leader. So the top 13 score points in feature races in the MBRL Racing League. So if all these drivers were to finish the race, they would all be scoring points. So that would mean, okay, there's been a change for second place. And that is because there was a driver pitting that Skid Solo. He is going to lose a lot of positions, so that's Skid Solo coming in from the lead to pit. That means Sora JP is the only one staying out during the safety car. Interesting strategy by him, but it will compromise him on the restart, so he might actually pit quite soon after the restart if he starts to lose a lot of places, which is expected on an old set of hard tyres. And it'll be very interesting to see how RK44 in the Alpine gets on. He's on a fresh set of soft tyres. He'll be very racy on the safety car restart, but his tyres will wear up much quicker, and he will probably need to pit again, as we're not even halfway through this race. So it'll be quite a stretch for him. He'll probably be relying on another safety car in order to stay in contentions for some big point tours. So it's currently Mercedes on track to get the biggest point tool out of all the teams. They're currently first and fourth. Aston Martin are also on track for a good point tool, as are Red Bull. And it'll be a decent point tool for Ferrari as well. Skidsola and Ibo, both drivers from McLaren, they're on track to get points, but very few points. So they'll be looking to change that. They're currently in the final 2 positions, and Ibo still catching up to the leading pack. As the safety car will probably come in at the end of this lap. Heading down towards turn 14. Still haven't got any message of the safety car coming in. It's going to be staying out for another lap then, I guess. It will definitely be coming in at the end of lap 10. This is quite a long safety car. Yeah. So for those who just joined, the safety car was caused by Andrew's DNF, which is on lap 7. He clipped the outside wall heading out of turn 8. That was probably influenced by Ultimate Mr. Pruitt, or not Ultimate Mr. Pruitt, Darrell's lock up in the Aston Martin heading into turn 7, which probably distracted him, and he hit the barrier as a result. Unfortunate for the driver, who is currently second in the standings, just behind his teammate Sebastian. And that does mean that our constructor standings leaders will not be scoring any points. In terms of teams that could overtake them in the standings, possibly Mercedes. They didn't get a big points haul in Texas, so they ideally need a top 1-2 finish, which is definitely possible with the way things are going for them now. But yeah, if Red Bull get both their drivers in the top 5, they could definitely overtake them, as they also had a good points haul in Texas. So they're heading through turn 11, and now onto the corner that lead onto the Las Vegas Strip, on board with the 99 car of Darrell. You've got Palang in the Mercedes right behind him. It'll be very interesting to see how Sora JP in the RB gets on an old set of hard tyres. They're now 9 laps old, so they're not going to be too worn out, but he will need to come into the pits to change the tyres, I would imagine, at some point in the next 10 laps. So safety car in at the end of this lap. And it'll be Real Taravilla for Mercedes, getting racing action underway. So yeah, so they'll be in control, deciding when the rest of the field should go and restart the race at the start of lap 11. So Real Taravilla get underway some point in the next 10 seconds to get racing back on the way. And he goes now. As you head onto the final corner, very good restart by Palang. He's already alongside Darrell. But he cuts him off into the first corner, and that has caused Sora GP to lose some positions. As expected, he is on the slower tyre, old hard tyres. So he's dropped to 4th. Darrell and Palang have both gained a position from the restart. Some side-by-side action between Race Chase and Enzo as we head into turn 5. Race Chase with the inside line, defending his position, and that's the Alpine. Probably a slightly disappointing restart there for RQ44, as someone hit the wall there. Not quite. RQ44 on the soft tyres, with the strategy he's on, he would have wanted to get past a lot of cars on the restart, but he's stayed in 8th place, which is not ideal for him. Although he's looking to get past Ultimate Mr. Puro, very close to him. Very rare to see moves made here. He might wait for the straight. Might not do, actually. Ultimate Mr. Puro in the Aston Martin, defending his position in 7th place. And Simple is right behind this battle in the Haas as well. Let's see if there are going to be any moves made. And the likeliest one to be made is going to be made by the Mercedes. Sora GP has lost another place to Race Chase. And Enzo is right behind him as well. on board with the Ferrari now. He's just behind Sora JP on an old set of hard tyres, so he'll be creating this midfield train for the next few laps before he comes into the pits. Enzo braking a bit early there, looking for a way to get past Sora JP in the RB, making a wider line there through turn 3, and he's going to have DRS now. Sora JP also has DRS, but Enzo clearly got better traction there, and he's got past him up into 5th place. Although Sora JP is going to look for me around the outside. Oh, and he's still alongside him. This is very good stuff by Sora JP in the RB. Nearly getting back past Enzo. Great effort there by him, but he's fallen down into 6th place now. Arco 44 on the soft tyres, watch out for him. He is in the Alpine and now up into 7th place. He's got ahead of Ultimate Mr. Puro. Can he get ahead of Sora JP even before the Las Vegas strip possibly? Alongside him, Sora JP shuts the door. Very tight line there for the Alpine there, but it seems to have helped him actually. Now on turn 13, down the Las Vegas strip. Side-by-side action between, more importantly, side-by-side action for the lead. Rules Taravilla defending his place against Daryl, but they're still alongside each other. Ooh, so close to the wall. So Daryl's got back up into the lead ahead of Rules Taravilla. Mercedes 2 and 3 now. But they're going to try and change that as quickly as possible. Is he going to go for a move down the inside, possibly? No, he waits. He could go for a move down to turn 5, or could wait until turn 14 towards the end of the lap. Side-by-side action between Quincy and Ibo. Is Ibo going to go for a move here? He doesn't, and he remains in 13th place. Oh, interesting tactic by Mercedes there. They swap places, so let's see if Palang can overtake Daryl instead of Real Taravilla. Maybe he's struggling more on his tyres. Simple in the Haas has now got past Ultimate Mr. Puro, so that's going to increase their point total. Quite important for Haas to get good points, a good point total this round, like for Simple, and Verduca is not racing this round. Yeah, and 14 of the 17 drivers in the league are racing today, so very few teams with only one driver racing. Yeah, the team that are going to lose out a lot this round are Williams, who are our constructors standing leaders, but they're looking to be the only team who are going to be pointless this round, as we see a change for the lead again. So that's Palang now up into the lead, so that tactic by Mercedes has worked, and although Darrell is very close behind him, Ultimate Mr. Puro and the Aston Martin have got back ahead of Simple. That battle for 8th place, so those positions keep on switching. Daryl, is he going to go for a move down the inside possibly? No, he's not. He's going to wait later in the lap as we head into lap 14. Wills Taravilla is right behind them. Then battling is causing the 3rd place driver to close up on them and make the 3-way battle between the two Mercedes and the Aston Martin sandwich between them. There you can see towards the back of the screen the Ferrari of Enzo and race chasing the Red Bull. Quite a few seconds behind this pack. But they're still up for a good shout of getting up into the podium places, hopefully, this round. Okay, so there's been a change again for position. I wonder if that was a lock-up for Palang, which compromised him and allowed Daryl to get past. But now he's right behind his teammate, Rules Taravilla. Oh, is he going to go for a move down the inside? Not quite. Daryl misses the apex, so that okay, actually, so it's Palang who had the worst exit there, and that's going to give his teammate a good advantage heading down towards turn 14. Not quite enough. All those 3 places had remained the same on lap 14, on the latter half of lap 14. And Enzo, so Enzo, who started in 14th place, is now looking to get up into the podium in the Ferrari. Great comeback drive by him. And then we see the Alpine, the RK44 on the soft tyre, trying to close up as well. Big snap of oversteer there for the Ferrari, but he managed to hold it. Despite that, he is closing that gap. What has happened to Quincy? The gap has closed between... Yeah, there's been a very close battle between all these 4 drivers here, but it's caused an incident for Quincy. Maybe he's just retired in the pit lane. Yeah, so unfortunately I wasn't able to see what happened there, but he was stuck in a battle between Sinful Diego, Ultimate Mr. Pura, and Sora JP, who was probably holding everyone up on those very old hard tyres now. We'll see him definitely pit in the next 5 laps. So I'd expect everyone to stay out apart from Zora JP, who would definitely want to get rid of those hard tyres now in the RB. And possibly a good chance for RK44 to pit as well, to get rid of those soft tyres. They will start. He would definitely be quite vulnerable on the first few laps after the second safety car restart, which will probably happen at the end of lap 17. So yeah, we're quite a bit over halfway now, as we head on to lap 16. Yeah, so Daryl, okay, interesting choice. We've only got a handful of laps left, and the majority of drivers changing onto the soft tyres. Although a couple of drivers now onto mediums, so Palang and Enzo have gone for the alternate medium strategy. Race chase from the Red Bull, Real Star Villa, Real Star Villa and Sinful now, going onto a fresh set of medium tyres. Daryl, RK44, and Sora JP onto a new set of soft tyres. So that's the second set of soft tyres for RK44. Aggressive strategy by him this round. And also by Sora JP, only driver staying out during the first safety car. Yeah, the only driver who was yet to make a pit stop up until now. So he's now onto a set of soft tyres. He was relying on another safety car. Oh dear, what's happened? Got a bit wide there in turn 5, and has lost place as a result of that. Missed the braking zone by quite some margin. I'm not sure what happened there. He's now down to 11th place, but it's still a point-scoring position, so the RB driver will still score points. I think there's only one full-time driver for RB so far in the Marble Racing League. He finished 7th last time out in Texas. We should probably get racing action underway, not at the end of this lap, but probably at the end of the next lap. So all the drivers there, apart from Ibo, have caught up to the safety car now. We'll probably wait another lap before racing actually gets back underway. That will give an opportunity for Ibo to close up to the rest of the field in the McLaren. Oh, interesting, so more drivers pitting. Those that stayed out and missed out on the opportunity on the previous lap are pitting now. So that is the Ferrari, I think, yes, the Ferrari and the McLaren pitting. Solo and Diego. Fresh set of medium tyres for both of them, interesting. And there we see the RB, so, sorry JP. Did he have a penalty? Ibo and Diego have a penalty, yes, so he had a penalty. So he's aborted that aggressive soft tyre strategy. He doesn't think he can make it to the end. And he's gone for a fresh set of mediums instead. So that might point signs that might question to whether Daryl's and RK34 strategy is correct. It's going to be the most favourable one, because there's only 2 drivers on that aggressive soft tyre strategy now. Daryl will be leading the pack at the end of lap 17 for the second safety car restart, but will somehow need to manage those soft tyres for a good few laps, and defending against Palang and Enzo as well. You could be helped by RK44 holding up the pack behind. So everyone behind RK44 and medium tyres. Those especially towards the end of the field now. Skid Solo, Diego, Sora, JP. They're on the freshest set of medium tyres and will definitely not struggle with tyre wear as we approach the end of the race now. So it'll be Daryl in the Aston Martin in the 99 car leading the way for the second safety car restart. You've got the Mercedes of Palang, who started right at the back of the field, but has made his way. He quickly made his way up into the podium ping positions. Earlier on in the race. Okay, so safety car staying out for another lap, so he'll be coming in at the end of lap 18. That would be quite helpful for Daryl and RK34. They'll be struggling with tyre wear less towards the end of the race as a result of that. Sora JP in 12th place in the RB, ahead of Diego, behind Diego. Skid Solo and Ibo in 9th and 10th place for McLaren. And then we get up into 8th place, which is Ultimate Mr. Puro. Simple in the Haas has made his way up into 7th. Real Star Villa and the Mercedes in 6th. Race Chase in 5th place. Arco 44 in 4th place is on that aggressive soft tyre strategy. It'll be very interesting to see how he gets on the restarts. The same for Enzo and Palang, who are on the medium tyres and will be looking to get past Daryl on the soft tyres on the restarts. It's actually very unclear to see which strategy is actually the better one, as we've only got 7 laps to go when the safety car comes in. The question is that too long for the soft tyres to perform well? The medium tyres will definitely last for that period, but the soft tyres might just make it as well. They might be able to hold off, Daryl might be able to hold off Palang and Enzo for the remainder of the race. Although the DRS is very powerful, especially down the straights, heading to the now in turn 13, but then it's a very long run down into turn 14. Where we saw the majority of the overtakes happening in the F1 race last year. So safety car ready at the end of this lap. Daryl will be holding the pack up and will be deciding when to get racing action back underway at some point before the timing line. Okay, so he goes early. Interesting choice there. He goes much earlier than Real Taravilla did on the first safety car restart. But that has created a gap between the rest of the field. Diego has got ahead of Skid Solo. That's changed instantly as soon as I said that. Daryl has managed to create a 5/10 gap between him and the driver behind, that's Palang. Palang is very close behind Daryl. Let's see if there's going to be a move even without DRS on this lap 19. Are there going to be any lockup into turn 7? There will be a few, although the top 3 have made the apex without any mistakes. Did RK34 go a little wide there? As they head into turn 9 and 10 now. Palang very close to Daryl. Enzo has dropped a little bit. He's dropped, okay, not that far behind, but RK44 has dropped quite a fair way back. Oh no, so Palang has hit the barrier, and we've got another safety car. Yeah, so you got a bit trigger for the happy at the exit there. And has hit the barrier as a result, heading into turn 12. Maybe he locked up into the braking zone, which caused him to further wide into the barrier. That is good news for Williams. Mercedes looked like the favourites to possibly snatch off that first place in the constructor standings for them. But Mercedes only have one driver left that can contribute to their point total. It looks like Aston Martin will probably have the biggest point total. As we head on to lap 20 under the safety car. I'd be very surprised to see drivers pitting. I know we might actually see a few pitting. Yeah, if you're at the back of the field and you're a medium size, you might as well switch to a fresh set of soft tyres now. As we've only got 5 laps to go, safety car will probably not come in until the end of lap 22, so it probably means we'll have 3 laps of racing actions to wrap up round 2. Wow, contact onto the safety car, not sure what happened there. And some front wing end plate loss there. Who was that? It wasn't Diego. Could have been the Aston Martin of Ultimate Mr. Puro losing his front wing end plate there. Let's see who it was. Yeah, it wasn't. Interesting. Okay, it's Sora JP. So Sora JP has lost his front wing end plate. Won't be a big problem, as the safety car will be out for another few laps at least to be able to catch to the rest of the field despite that incident, and he'll have to come into the pit lane to change that front wing. He did a quite big incident as well, so he's lost a fair chunk of his front wing there. Okay, yeah. So on lap 20 of 25, there have been lots of changes for the leads this round, and in the sprint race as well. But it is now Daryl who has maintained the lead, and will maintain the lead for at least the next few laps, as there was a safety car caused by one of the drivers trying to get past him. It was Palang. Quincy has DNF'd. Yeah, so he caused the second safety car. Palang caused the third safety car after crashing out in turn in the barriers in turn 12. I would imagine probably from braking late or trying to make a move down the inside, which did not pay off. That is a fast left-hander into a heavy braking zone, so it's very easy to spin out there, and also just crash into the barrier after braking too late. Yeah, so there, as expected, Sora JP is coming into the pit lane. So is Jacob. Does he have damage as well? He doesn't, but he is changing into the soft tyre. So he is changing from the medium to the soft tyre, as he is towards the back of the field anyway, and will not lose too many places. Yeah, he's only lost 2 places there from pitting, and he's on a much better strategy. We will only have 3 laps of racing, so those particularly towards the back of the field, so Ibo, Diego, Sora JP, they'll be really racy on the final few laps. They'll be hoping to get ahead of the medium runners, who'll be slightly slower on a worn set of medium tyres. They're only 5 laps old, but they'll be slower on pace. A very close field in terms of pace this round. There hasn't been a very big field spread for the majority of the drivers. Even though we had a very long period without a safety car and the field did not spread out that much, but since the safety car, the field has stayed very close together. There have been incidents straight after each restart, and we're now on the third safety car, heading towards the third safety car restart, which will probably not be at the end of this lap, but on the end of the next lap. So we'll probably have 3 laps of racing action. Yeah. So in terms of who could take the championship, the drivers' standings championship lead, Darrell finished 4th in Texas. Oh, interesting. So safety car in at the end of this lap, so we'll have 4 laps of racing action. Darrell got a big point to last night in Texas and is on track to win here. Don't want to jinx anything. So he gets in the way. Race Chase, who finished ahead of him in Texas, is only in 4th place. So watch out for those two. They are the two that could snatch the championship lead in the driver standings away from the Williams drivers. But anything can happen as we head onto the final 4 laps of round 2 of season 6 of the Marble Racing League. Heading down towards turn 5, I think there is a move going on further back there. That's Diego getting ahead of one of the McLarens. They're going to go side by side. Ibo does unfortunately concede the position, and we have Sora JP looking for a move around the outside of Ibo. He's very twitchy there. Has he hit the wall? He hasn't. He's avoided the wall. He's been in the pits quite a few times this race. Very twitchy exit there for Ibo. That's going to compromise him. Oh no, he's hit the wall. Not ideal there for Ibo. And he's lost some of his front wing as well, so he'll need to pit. Yeah, so game over there for Ibo. He will score some points, but not many at all, unfortunately, for the McLaren driver. The other McLaren, the skid solo, under very big pressure from the Ferrari there of Diego. Let's go back to the front though. Are there going to be any moves further up the order? Very close between the top 4. A second gap back to Rivers Taravilla and the Mercedes. That's actually quite surprising. The Mercedes looked very racy in the first half of the race. Yeah, and then they just, Palang had a crash and it seems to have gone a bit downhill for Mercedes overall since then. Lock up ahead, I wonder if that was the Red Bull of Race Chase. Very consistent start to the season for Race Chase and the Red Bull. Finished 3rd last time at Texas and is looking to get 4th place here, here in Las Vegas. Although an even more consistent start for Darrell, who finished 4th in Texas, but is on track to finish 1st here, but that could easily change. DRS is very powerful here, and he's only 3/10 ahead of Enzo. There you see all 4 of those drivers, all 5 of those drivers now, at the back of screen there. The House of Sinful, up in 6th place, quite a fair way behind the rest of the pack. Wow, look at the Ferrari all over the back of the Aston Martin there, as we head out of turn 12. All 5 of those cars are definitely in the fight for the win here. Surely Enzo's going to have a really good opportunity. Heading down towards turn 14. Is he going to go for a move down the inside? He does. And he's got the lead heading into turn 14. So Enzo, who started plumb last, he's now hit the front. He's gained 13 positions during this race and is on track to win, I think, his first win in the Marble Racing League, so that will be a very good achievement for him. Is Darrell going to go for a move down the inside? Enzo shuts the door as we head into turn 1. Darrell has a very good exit in turn 2, now into turn 3. Arco 44, who started quite far down the order, is up into 3rd in the Alpine. This will be a great result for Alpine. And they're going to go side by side. Possibly 3 wide into turn 5. Ooh, very close between Enzo and Arco 44. They're still going to go side by side, heading into turn 6 and now into turn 7. Enzo managed to get around the outside of the Alpine there. And once again, he's going to have he's very quick for this section. And will have a great run down the Las Vegas Strip on the penultimate lap of this race. Although for the moment, Darrell's still holding on to that 1st place in the Aston Martin. However, can Enzo spoil the party for Aston Martin? We'll see. 5/10 back. That's touch and go as to whether he can get past him down to turn 14. There you can see, I would say anyone from the top 5 is in the fight for the win here. Wow, big send from RQ34 there. Locks up. Makes the corner, but does not get past Enzo, and that line has compromised him. And Real Taravilla he's only a tenth behind him, and is looking to get past him down into turn 1. As we start the final lap, they're nearly alongside each other, heading towards the first turn. Race Chase has dropped a place. Yeah, so Race Chase is now down to 5th, not ideal for him, although he's alongside the Mercedes. Yeah, and now Enzo really needs to pick up the pace as he's running out of corners to get past the Aston Martin driver. A move around the outside would be pretty impressive, but that has not quite worked. He's going to have to wait for the Leslie strip. He's very close to him. He's very good on the exit of turn 9. He's so close to the back of him. However, Darrell seems to get the better exits out of turn 12. He's right alongside him though. But Darrell will probably be able to defend the position down into turn 12. No moves made there. But all the top 5. Oh no! What a shame. Race Chase has lost it on the exit of turn 12. And he is DNF'd. But back to the track action. So close between the top 2 there. The top 4 fighting for these podium places. Unfortunately, one of them is going to miss out on the podium. They all lock up. And Real Taravilla managed to make his way up into 3rd place ahead of the Alpine. The Alpine nearly losing it there. And Enzo has managed to get up into the lead as well, ahead of Darrell. Can Darrell get past him? This is one of the closest finishes we've ever seen in the Marvel Racing League. Side by side. Wow, 100 separating the top 2 there. And it's Enzo who just holds on to 1st place there. What a finish to that race. Real Taravilla in 3rd, ahead of RK44. That was also a very, very close finish. Under a tenth between those 2. Great result by Simple in the Haas. Taking advantage of all of those spins and crashes. And he's managed to make his way up to 5th place. After starting quite low down the order for this feature race. I think he started outside the top 10. Skid Solo finishes 6th in the McLaren. Yeah, that's Diego. In 8th place in the Ferrari. Possibly Ultima Mr. Puro finished 7th, I'm not sure. But either way, it's a very good point total for Aston Martin in terms of the constructor standings. Yeah, and that's round 2 complete actually. Fully now. There we see the Ferrari driver Enzo on the podium. And then, yeah, so Darrell and Real Taravilla in the Mercedes and the Aston Martin joining him on the podium there for round 2. That's one of the closest finishes we've ever had in the Marvel Racing League. That was a very dramatic end to the race. All of those top 4 managed to keep it clean, and it was some very good racing between all 4 of them. And it finished like this. So it was Enzo finishing first, very closely behind me, Darrell in the Aston Martin. Real Taravilla stole that final podium place from RQ44 in the Alpine on the final lap. So the Mercedes driver got himself up in 3rd place. Despite that loss of the position, of the podium position, Alpine having a very good result there with RK34 in 4th. Simple in 5th for Haas. Skid Solo in 6th for McLaren. Palang, sorry, it wasn't Ultimate Mr. Puro. Palang in 7th in the Mercedes. Sora JP, Ultimate Mr. Puro and Diego. Also, actually, this is the overall result from the combined total of the sprint and the feature race. But yeah, all the drivers who finished the race scored points. Top 13 score points in the Marvel Racing League. And that is round 2 complete. We'll see you in a week's time for round 3 in China. We'll see you then.